Today we're going to talk about the Leafs head into the 2023-24 season. Last year they finished second in the Atlantic Division with 111 points, and I think we could see an improvement in that stat total at the end of the 2024 regular season. A couple of the guys I want to talk about right off the bat via unrestricted free agency this offseason was Tyler Bertuzzi, Ryan Reaves, and Max Domi. All these guys were brought in to bring a little bit of sandpaper and nastiness to their team, and I think that's what they're going to do exactly. Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi won't just get into the corners and get under other players' skin, but they can also score goals and produce offense. I think this is something the Leafs really need. One thing that was a little bit of a question mark this offseason for me was bringing in John Klingberg on defense. They already have a very similar type player in Morgan Rielly. I think that Brad Treliving wants to get more offense up from the back end, and they had trouble getting the puck out of their zone. You could really tell in the playoffs, even in the first round against Tampa Bay when they won. It was a little bit of struggle for them, so I understand it in that aspect. But they did lose a guy in Luke Schenn. He was another guy who brought a little bit of nastiness to their team. He clears guys out in front of the nets, and he plays good defense. They lost him, and they didn't really replace that toughness on the back end whatsoever. Their goaltending to me is a little bit of a question mark headed into the next season. I wouldn't say it's a concern. Ilya Samsonov was really good last season, but before that, he was a below-average goaltender in the NHL with Washington. There was a reason why they decided not to qualify him heading into last year. I do think Samsonov has the ability to play like he did last year. He played in more of a 1B type role. I believe he played in 40 games. So I'm expecting a little bit more from him. And Joseph Woll was really good when he played last year in the AHL and in the NHL. But I mean, he's going to get more of a sample size this year, get his footing in the NHL, and we'll see if he can make the opportunity worth a while because they're losing Matt Murray to LTIR, and they're hoping that this young guy in Joseph Woll could be the future of their net. The one thing about the Toronto Maple Leafs, though, is their cap situation. They're a couple $1 million over the cap right now with a 23-man roster. They will be putting Jake Muzzin and Matt Murray on LTIR, but there could be a trade coming. There could be some guys being put on waivers that make a little bit more money than league minimum to get them under that cap situation. But I think overall the Leafs are in a pretty good situation as long as they can figure out a good move to move out some money and make their team cap compliant. The one thing with the Maple Leafs, though, is they're the team in this division, but I'm 100% confident that they are going to make the playoffs. The Atlantic's obviously going to be tough this year with the Red Wings, Senators, and Sabres trying to make a push, while the Bruins got a little bit worse in Bergeron being gone, and then Tampa Bay has now lost Vasilevsky, and Florida is without Montour and Ekblad until Christmas. So I think it's a toss-up in the Atlantic division, but I do think the Leafs have the best roster out of all three heading into the next season.